Hey guys, Alicia here. Today I'm going to be trying out a new recipe for chicken enchilada casserole. I found the original recipe that I'm going to be making some changes to on the WW website. It sounded good. Like I said, there's a couple things I'm going to be changing that I didn't necessarily like about it, but overall the recipe sounded good. So I thought I would take you with me and show you how this turns out. Let me go over the ingredients real quick with you. First off, you're going to need some cooked, boneless, skinless chicken breast. I've got 10 ounces here, and I just baked this in the oven, but you could use leftover chicken. This would be a really good recipe if you had some leftover chicken breast from something else. Here is some reduced fat Fiesta blend cheese. I'm gonna be using 1.5 cups of this. Down here, I've got some enchilada sauce mix that I made myself because I could not find the little packets of it in the store anywhere. But the recipe calls for a 1.5 ounce packet of enchilada sauce mix, and this is equivalent to that. So that's what I'm going to be using. And then along with that, you're going to need a 6 ounce can of tomato paste and then some water to do your enchilada sauce. I will link the recipe down below for that enchilada mix that I found online in case you can't find the packets either. The only thing I did differently is I used a sugar alternative in this instead of the sugar, but other than that, I made it the same. You're also going to need a little bit of minced garlic. And here I've got a medium onion chopped, a medium red pepper chopped, and that's about half of a green pepper. I just wanted to use that up, so I threw that in there. The recipe calls for only a half of a green pepper and I think a small onion. So I definitely bulked mine up because that did not sound like near enough veggies. Here I've got a can of black beans, can of corn. You're gonna need a cup of cornmeal, some cooking spray, and some olive oil. And that is everything that's gonna be in this. First thing you're gonna wanna do is get your enchilada sauce going. So in a medium-sized pan, I'm gonna add in 3 cups of water, my tomato paste, and I am just making this according to the directions on the back of the mix that I couldn't find. And so you're supposed to add tomato paste, 3 cups of water, and then the enchilada mix. And you're gonna just stir all this together. You're gonna let this come to a simmer, and then you're gonna let it continue to simmer for about 10 minutes or so until it kind of thickens a little bit. So I'm gonna let that go and move on to the next step. Over here, I've got a large pan, 4.5 quart pan, and I've got this on a medium heat, and I'm gonna add in a tablespoon of this olive oil and let that heat up in there. And I forgot to mention when I was going over the ingredients that you are going to need more water other than for the sauce over here. You're gonna need it for 2 other parts of this recipe, but as always, I will have all the ingredients listed down in the description box below of this video, and I'll have that in those ingredients. But I did want to mention that I completely forgot the water. So I'm gonna let this continue to heat up and then I will be back. Okay, now I'm gonna add in my veggies. And about a teaspoon of that minced garlic. Then I'm gonna just cook all this in here for a few minutes until all those veggies are softened and translucent. These are looking good. So now I'm gonna remove about 2/3 of them and put them in this medium-sized bowl here. And then to the remaining, I'm gonna add 2 cups of water. And I'm gonna let this come to a boil. Then to these, I'm gonna add in my chicken, my drained corn, and my rinsed and drained black beans. And I'm gonna mix all that together. And I'm gonna just set this aside. And then in another medium-sized bowl, I'm gonna take 1 1/3 cup water and a cup of the cornmeal. And I'm gonna stir that together real well. Now that that water is boiling, I'm gonna slowly pour in my cornbread mixture. Give that a little stir. And then at this point, I'm going to turn my heat down to low. And then I'm gonna cover this and let it kind of simmer for a few minutes until that cornbread kind of thickens up. And at this point, I'm also going to turn on my oven and get it preheating to 350. All right, now I'm gonna take a 13 by 9 inch pan here. I'm gonna spray it with my cooking spray. Then I'm gonna spread my cornbread mixture on the bottom of the pan. Now I'm gonna put half of my enchilada sauce on the top of the cornbread mixture. And now I'm gonna add my bean, corn, chicken, and veggie mixture on top of that. And now I'm gonna add the remaining enchilada sauce. Now I'm gonna top with my cheese. And I am using 1.5 cups, if I didn't say that before. And now I'm gonna bake at 350 for about 45 minutes or until this is heated all the way through and that cheese is melted. And it's been 45 minutes and I have taken this out. Now I'm gonna go ahead and let it cool for a few minutes before I cut a serving size out of it. All right, here's a serving of that, which is 1/8. And I just went ahead and sprinkled a little bit of green onions on the top. And I have my hubby try this, let us know what he thinks of it. And this is 8 points on green and 5 on blue and purple.
Smells good. It's been smelling good ever since you pulled the chicken out.
A little hot still.
It's a little different than what I thought. It's pretty good.
Now, would Greek yogurt be good on that?
Yeah.
I thought about adding some of that too.
Yeah.
Or fat-free sour cream for those that don't like the fat-free Greek yogurt. I think would pair with that really well.
It's a real satisfying dish. You know, and it's got the traditional Mexican dish flavors, obviously, because of the seasoning and the ingredients.
What do you think of that enchilada sauce, by the way? Because that was one that the mix I found online, since I couldn't find the mix in the packet. Remember we were searching, couldn't find that?
Yeah, and so I'm having a hard time describing it. So I think traditionally there's more like an almost tangy flavor to that kind of seasoning.
Yeah, that's missing in this enchilada mix?
Yeah, it's a little bit, that's just a little bit flat, I would say.
Okay.
Now, again, the dish tastes great. It's just a little different than what I was expecting.
Well,
I assume that's the reason.
And again, this calls for the packets that you buy in the store, which probably tastes better than this mix that I found on the internet. But who knows, maybe not. But we cannot find those here. I don't know why that is. They just do not exist. So had to make my own.
It's real pleasant. You know, and when you dish it up, it's real appealing.
Yeah, it is pretty color-wise.
Just trying to think what else I was going to say. It's funny you bring up the yogurt, because I was going to say that it was missing that.
Yeah, I almost put that on there because I put Greek yogurt on all kinds of things, and that sounded good, but I was like, well, we'll try it without.
And how many points again?
That's 8 points, so it's a little high. Now, the Weight Watcher recipe that I kind of changed actually is 9 points, so I cut it down a point. But that's still maybe a little high for that, but it also looks like it would be pretty filling too.
Yeah.
With the beans and everything.
I don't have a problem with that being 8 points.
Okay.
I think that's fine.
I used less cornmeal in mine as well as a couple other little changes.
Yeah.
So it is slightly lower in points. Gonna add some Greek yogurt to it. All right, well, that is enchilada. No, that's not what that is. That is chicken enchilada casserole. I guess we'll call that a win. Is this something you would want again?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you guys as always for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.